Labour is a government in waiting, Corbyn tells his MPs as he unveils autumn tour of the marginals he needs to win power. Jeremy Corbyn demanded unity from his MPs last night as he revealed plans to tour Tory marginals ahead of possible autumn election. The Labour leader, buoyed by last week's unexpected results, said he would make speeches over the next few months in the 60 seats he needs to win to take power. Addressing his party's newly elected MPs, he urged them to maintain the unity and collective discipline they had shown during the election campaign. His warning comes after 2 years of almost constant sniping from moderate Labour MPs who believed he had no hope of ever winning an election. Many of them have had to eat humble pie, including former leadership candidates Yvette and Chuka Umunna. In the Commons earlier in the day, where MPs had gathered to re-elect John Bercow as Speaker, MPs gave Mr. Corbyn a standing ovation as he entered the chamber. The ovation came a year after dozens of them had voted to say they had no confidence in their leader. Yesterday evening, one former prominent critic left the meeting of MPs saying Mr. Corbyn's speech had been excellent, adding, "Unity is the watchword. Government is the aim." The Labour leader told his MPs that Theresa May had no mandate and no legitimacy, declaring, "We are now a government in waiting." Mr. Corbyn was greeted with cheers and a 45-second ovation as he arrived at the first meeting of the Parliamentary Labour Party since the election which saw Mrs May's Tories lose their Commons majority. The scenes were in marked contrast to the difficult meetings Mr. Corbyn had with his critics in the parliamentary party before the election. He said Labour would remain on a general election footing due to the instability of the minority Tory government. Mr. Corbyn said, "Last Thursday, we turned the tables on Theresa May's gamble and gained seats in every region and nation of Britain, and I'm particularly delighted that we have increased our representation in Scotland. We increased the Labour vote by the largest margin in any election since 1945 and gained seats as a party for the first time since 1997. So now the election is over, the next phase of our campaign to win power for the majority has already begun. We must remain in permanent campaign mode on a general election footing. We achieved what we did last Thursday because we were a united party during the campaign, and we need to maintain that unity and collective discipline in the weeks and months ahead." The leader added, "We will continue to take the fight to the Tories, and I will be out campaigning around the country in Conservative marginals in those extra seats we need to gain to deliver the government for the many that almost 13 million people voted for last week." Now as Parliament returns, we have a government in complete disarray, still unable to reach an agreement, it seems, with the DUP and desperately delaying the Queen's speech in Brexit negotiations. Far from being strong and stable, the government Theresa May is putting together is weak, wobbly and out of control. This is a government on notice from the voters. Theresa May has no mandate and no legitimacy for policies that do not have the support of the majority of the British people. We are now a government in waiting, and we must think and act at all times with that in mind. This was a remarkable result achieved because we stayed united and worked as team, and I have no doubt together we can win the next general election, whenever that may be.